Hey guys. This is like my third time trying to make, actually, I don't know how many times this is me trying to attempt to make this video. Those wires back there are driving me insane, the ones that's coming from my TV, and I cannot figure out an angle to do this, so I can't see this, and this is like the best, area for lighting, so don't judge me. I need to get someone in here to make that look better, but we're just gonna act like it's not there. So, how are you guys? I hope that this video finds you in all of the holiday spirit. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. And listen, if it doesn't find you in the greatest of spirits, like, I totally get it. We all of us go through funks, and some funks last longer than others, but what helps me get through these situations in particular is to think about myself in a gym. And if I'm in the physical gym and I'm lifting weights to make myself stronger and to look better, then it's the same concept as when I'm going through something that's tough and I just figure out a way, how can I use this as a way to work out my spirit? Because if you can figure out a way to use it to your benefit, it ends up making your spirit stronger, which then gives you more power and strength and understanding when you go to the next thing in life, when things open up and aren't so tough. So, I don't know. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. That I do know. So be encouraged and don't get too bogged down in the details, because actually, this is why I'm actually making this video. We are going to be experiencing and partaking in the Great Conjunction tomorrow, December 21st. So that should alleviate a lot of the pressures and weird energies that you've been feeling. It's this weird transition astrologically that we're going in. So, like I said, I'm so excited about this. I don't have my notes, so I hope I don't flub this. And if I do, just watch it and support me anyway. That December 21st is the winter solstice. So it's the first day of winter, but also it's the shortest day of the year. So that means December 22nd, we get a couple more minutes of daylight. So we're already winning. We're headed towards warmer, sunnier, and brighter days. So things are looking up already. Which is also kind of cool that the first day of winter is also the shortest day of the year, but whatever, let me stay on track. So yeah, so that's happening. Now, this great conjunction is called great because the conjunction itself is bright, and it's also a rare meeting of these two planets. So the planets Jupiter and Saturn are meeting up, and these two are very slow moving planets. Jupiter, I believe, takes 12 years to orbit the sun, where Saturn takes 29 and a half years to orbit. And when they meet up every 20 years, it's a quick little bloop bloop. Jupiter is essentially lapping Saturn, and then they go on to finish their own individual orbits, never to meet up again for another 20 years. So the next time these two meet up, it will not be as close as they will be tomorrow, and you will look very much so different. Maybe you will. Who knows? Because everyone ages differently, but you may be a grandmother or grandfather at that time, or you may be a mom, or you may have a new, like, things are going to look completely different the next time that you see this conjunction. So make sure you go out on Monday and you watch it. Okay, so the last time that this conjunction happened was May 28th of 2000. And the last time that this conjunction was this visible to the majority of the world was back in 1224. So like in 16 something, I think like the southern hemisphere could see it, but other countries and places in the world couldn't. But this time, the majority of the world is going to be able to view that. And that last time that it happened was in 1224. So if I do that math real quick, I mean, pretty much it's 800 years, but if I do it real quick exactly, I think that's 794 years. So 794 years ago, all of the world was able to partake in what we get to see tomorrow, which is the Great Conjunction, also known as the Christmas star, which I'll get into that in a second. But I personally find that to be kind of uplifting and should uplift our morale, because this whole year, most of the world was spent united in restrictions. And we all of us had to deal with this pandemic in one way or another. So for us to be united in something that gives us so much hope and restores our faith in the same year that we all have been pushed to, our faith and hope have pretty much been pushed to the limit, I think is miraculous. And I think it speaks to the goodness of God. And I think we should use this energy, if for nothing else, to say that we are not in this alone, and you can get through whatever it is that you have to get through in this next cycle. It should be a great pick me up that, okay, even in the dark, there is light, because the light makes the dark not so dark. So anyway, so that's exciting. I have always been fascinated with astrology, but I was taught growing up in an apostolic church that astrology was like witchcraft, and it wasn't something that I should entertain or I should even try to understand. But you can't really tell me to do something without me understanding why I shouldn't do it. That's a blessing and a curse. So throughout my lifetime, I have been increasingly more and more interested in the day that people were born. I've been increasingly more interested in what your birthday means, and what your name means, and your zodiac and what that means. Like, I always want to know more and more and more. And as I got more serious about understanding the science of astrology and really understanding it for myself, I kept seeing there was no end to how deep the knowledge of this went. So as I'm doing this, I'm talking to God, and I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to embarrass myself, and I'm not trying to go against you. So if I shouldn't be doing this, then like, give me a sign or something. Or if I should be doing this, give me a true, real sign, because I'm not trying to embarrass myself. So anyway, long story short, as I'm studying over the summer, I start hearing about the Great Conjunction that we will be seeing tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then they started calling it the Christmas star. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's the wise men's star. So then I started studying that, and I found out in the year that this took place that this conjunction happened 3 times. And from what I've seen in my studies, the wise men had been following that star all year to get to their destination. And when they followed it that final time, and it led them to what us Christians believe as the Savior of the world, Jesus Christ, which he is, they gave him their gifts or whatnot, and God rest you merry gentlemen. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But then the thought popped in my head, what's a wise man? So I, looked up the definition, and a wise man is another word for an astrologer. So the first people to worship Christ, the Savior, were astrologers. So if they were the first people to worship the Savior and astrologers, then how is that witchcraft? It's not. It's a lie. So once I realized that, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. So the Christmas star was in the story of the wise men was initially, or essentially, us seeing astrology and God meet. Bloop. They followed the conjunction in the sky, and it led them to the understanding and the knowledge of the Savior of the world. Come on now. Come on, y'all. Okay. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, great. But then God took it a step. So this conjunction happens every 20 years. But when it happens every 20 years, it happens within a specific element for a extended amount of years. So let me make that make sense. There's 12 signs of the zodiac. And then there's 4 elements that these signs are then grouped in of 4 groups of 3. So the elements are water, earth, fire, and air. Think of the Avatar. And where was I going with that? Okay, water, earth, fire, and air. So the last 200 years, this conjunction has only happened in earth elements. So since 1802, we've been only seeing this take place in either Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. So the last one happened in May, and I believe it was in the sign of Taurus, but I'm not really sure. So I think it did happen in the sign of Taurus. And with the exception of a meeting in 1981, which it met an air sign. That's just what we've had for the last 200 years. So when the planets align in certain elements and in certain zodiac signs, we then have to take into account what energies are being highlighted and what energies are at play. So we have been seeped in a culture of earthly possessions and an earthly mindset and going after material wealth and things that are tangible, things that we can see, we can taste, we can touch. Everything is very earthy and sensual. So now that we are moving out of that element, we're now entering into a whole new element. And the element in which this conjunction is going to happen for the next 150 years is the element of air. And air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And where this conjunction is meeting in is in the sign of Aquarius. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, yeah, okay. I'm not even going to ask you anymore, God, anymore if this is true, if this is real. How are you going to have this discovery happen in the earth sign, in the air sign of Aquarius? And Aquarius is my sign. So anyway, that's a little tidbit. But when you think about air signs and then Aquarius for specifics, Aquarians are rebels. We are the humanitarians of the zodiac. We are considered water bearers because we tuck our emotions and use our minds to get through things. Excuse me. We're very innovative. Our ruling planet is Uranus. So when you hear the planet Uranus, when you hear anybody say that, you kind of like look sideways like, what? But then you realize you're talking about the planet. And Uranus is far out there. It's very sci-fi. It's very like Star Trek type of vibes. Spiritual. So we are entering into a spiritual age where everything is mental, internal, and everything is spiritual, which is another realm. And what I believe is the realm that dictates this realm that we're in right now. So we're moving out of an earthly mentality, and we're moving into a spiritual minded era. And I don't know about you, but for me, this year has really proven that these systems that have been put in place for us, we cannot trust. They have proven time and time again. I don't have the time to get into all the factual details, but we cannot trust this system that was put into place. And I really feel like that the era that we're going into, and the fact that most of the world is going to be able to partake in this Christmas star, this miracle, is a reminder from God that I'm here with you. I am consistent, and I can support you, and I am true, and I will never leave you nor forsake you, and I'm not a man that should lie, and I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. And even when it's dark, I'm still here shining the light, because the dark isn't nothing without the light. You know what I'm trying to say? God's not scared of the darkness. He's not scared of all this crazy thing all the stuff that's going on. He knows what's going on, but he's here to help us through this. And if we can open our minds and think about things from a different standpoint, you are going to be so shocked and surprised personally how you can personally change and affect your own world. So this is exciting times. So exciting times, and I want everyone to be of good cheer. I'm telling myself, Court, be of good cheer, because as restrictive as we've been feeling, I believe there's going to be a big release, and we're going to see a spiritual awakening like we haven't seen before. We're going to see new ways of thinking, so new inventions and new communities forging that are working together for the greater good of humanity. So there's going to be a big shift and a big change, and I'm here for it, and I hope you guys are here for it too. So when Monday happens, which it will happen because that's tomorrow, make sure that you go out and you get it and you look at it, because you're not going to see it again for another 20 years. And this is the first time in 800 years that you're going to be able to view it with the most of the world. And it's something that you don't want to miss. And when you're looking at it, think of what you want this era, how you want to impact this world, and how you want to leave your impression on this world, or how you want to live your life, and how you can use these energies to support what it is that you are trying to do, because it's here for you, and it's endless, and it's plenty, and it's bountiful, and it's nothing but good stuff. So get into it. Now, before I get off, I just want to extend the invite and to encourage you guys that if you have not had your birth chart analyzed, to please reach out to me and give it a try. It is life-changing and it is groundbreaking. And once you understand what is in your chart and what energies were at play when you were born, you will get a whole new perspective of who you are and how to move forward to obtain the things that you are trying to obtain. It is a very eye-opening experience, and the people who I've had the pleasure to work with have all left the session feeling like they just with their mind, I could just see the chains falling off, and I can see their eyes opening, and it's just a really cool experience for anyone who takes part. So if you have questions about it, if you want to schedule an appointment, if you want to know more about it, you can check out my website, which I'll link below in the video. Follow my YouTube channels, follow my social media platforms, shoot me an email, send me a message. Just get in contact with me and we can begin the conversation on how to begin your birth chart analysis. I hope everything I said made sense. And if it didn't, please feel free to ask me to clarify anything that I said. And I'm sorry that I made this kind of long, but I hope it wasn't boring. And yeah, so that's all I got for you guys. I just want to tell you Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays if I don't make a video before Christmas. And Happy New Year if I don't make a video before the new year. And just open your mind to the new possibilities that are being ushered in. It doesn't matter how dark things seem. If you look to the light, you can find your way through the dark. So I love you guys. Be encouraged. And I'll see you soon. Bye.